Hi, what's up, guys? I'm Abid Yogasara, and today we are going to preview um, one championships fight today between Shoko Sato against Fabricio Andrade. First of all, this is a very good fight because both of these fighters are, of course, very tough, but this is a really good show between a very well seasoned MMA veteran against a new upcoming tough fighter, tough kickboxer from Fabricio Andrade. So it should be an interesting match because I will start off by showing the stat. First of all, Shoko Sato, he's from Japan. He got 31 wins, a lot of wins, 13 losses, 2 draws. And on the opposition, we got Fabricio Andrade. He's from Brazil. 4 wins, 2 losses. Well, if you look at just that MMA stat, it may deceive you a little bit just because, wow, Andrade haven't fought that many times yet. But if you see the stats on his kickboxing record, Fabricio Andrade actually got 28 wins on his kickboxing career and only 1 losses. Only recently he moved to MMA. He started off quite strong. He got couple losses, but for somebody who is as young as he is, and he just start really honing his whole MMA skill set, including the ground game, wrestling, etc., and of course, MMA striking. I will dare to say that this guy definitely have a really good potential going forward to be a big name, hopefully, because I've been followed him since he was still fighting in Kunlun. He's a very well-known striker and quite a big name there. So, uh, and one thing, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get one championship recently just dropped. The nice little video to review. Last recently one championship drop video of Shoko Sato and Andrade's fight in one championship. So this is relatively their most recent fight. From this we may break down and preview a little bit what we could pick up and maybe predict who we got for this particular fight. Let's get to the video. Mhm. All right, starting off. We'll start with Shoko Sato. 3 of Shoko Sato's last fight. He's been in one championship for a while now, I think. So let's see what he got and what he brings to this table. He got that classic Japanese karateka striker movement. He's really fluid, long stance, move in and out real quick. Hands a little bit low, but he's fluidly moving his head, going right and left, constantly circle around. Nice constant strike against the aggressor from Shoko Sato. That will stop him from attempting those small strikes. Constantly checking him. Nice combination. And he just got out of there right away as soon as he got caught. Boom. Good clinch, good reversal. I like how how strong he is on the clinch. Right away, he just really shift his body, going through one underhook and just turned his body in, pushing it forward, and now he got the cage control. And while on that, he's scooping with his one leg while pressuring his head forward. That's a really good display of techniques right there from Sato. Really good, really good clinch control, really good cage control so far, has been shown. Hmm.
3 5-minute rounds. Judges score this one in its entirety. That right leg of Alvarado locked up.
Nice takedown right away. He just shift and really pull up his leg while he's pulling him down. That's a really good clinch. Really good takedown by Sato. Really strong control as well by him.
Into the others. He's trying to take command, control the balance. So often, one or both these guys on one leg at a time. In fact, they both are now on just the one leg.
Look how Sato controls that leg. He'll go and he'll try to wrap the leg up, and then he'll put his leg behind his own, kind of forming a triangle on his own leg. So Alvardo's having a hard time getting his foot out between the legs.
His consistency on his striking is very good. Sato definitely shown his his expertise going against a very strong opponent from Mark Vertex. Nice, he reversed that clinch again, got back, nice little jab just to keep pushing him away, and he escaped right there. Foot movement, slip to the side, palm. I think it might be low blow, but it's not intentional. Oblique kick, again active, always active on his stance. Very good, very good movement by him. Very nice head kick from him. Very strong defense by Sato.
He disguises these shots very well with his footwork. That left kick came out of nowhere.
Ooh, he got caught with that. I'm going through the cons of each fighter after this, after we review both of them. I'm just gonna check all the points first. I'm gonna check all the pros, or what does this fighter have on the table first, and we'll discuss a little bit what can be the downfall for each fighter after we review both of their fights. All right, should be good. Nope. Nice uppercut right there. Slip. Good pressure forward. You start to able to adjust and gradually adding his pressure. Now he got taken down. Well, he got tripped down. Finally.
Up and he trapped Alvardo's arm. Very good initiative by Sato from here. He can tell that he's really trying to get his leg into the center of the cage.
Very good initiative by Sato from here. You can tell that he's constantly attacking. Time up. He's constantly attacking from that guard. If we go back a little bit on that one. Ooh, no. I am positive that he have a very strong ground game as well. How he immediately
It's pretty
going
tricky off his back.
for that rubber guard, going for that omoplata right away. Again, good pressure, constantly fighting, constantly putting his opponents on danger, keeping his opponent
And there
guessing.
was lots of
Make
good
sure
work by
every
Sato in that round.
position
Using
that
his
he
age,
have,
you could see him up against the
every
fence there as he was trying to
whichever
drop
position
those
he is
awkward
in,
strikes by throwing the heels in, getting a lot of
to
trips
just to
and trying
make
to
not
attempt on
just to
takedowns.
making
Maybe
sure
score one
the
early
opponent
in
is
the
not
very first
comfortable
round.
with it.
And then we started to see that
Now this is
slick
second round.
striking work. He was able to start working the legs,
There
landing
should be
nice
more
low
adjustment
straight punches. Good round from Shoko
when you
Sato.
are veteran like him.
So the judges will look at that one fairly carefully, knowing that
You know,
there
as
are
the
two
round
more
goes,
rounds to
it
come
will be
potentially. They will score this
they're
one
much
with an overview of the
you have
entire
built-in
15 minutes.
intelligence of where you
Stick
want
with to analyze
to
in that
do.
opening five.
So basically, he's already feeling
31
his
years old,
opponent.
Sato.
It's now about
27 years
all
old.
about the putting things on the right spot.
Nice big man moves, circling his way effortlessly
Big overhand by Mark
as that was
Fairfax.
thrown in.
Very strong
This is what
forward
Sato
game.
was talking about. He says Abelardo
He
is
got a
quick
strong chin.
hits on a lot of his shots. And you could see it right
Again, he's
there.
scooping up
Jumped in, threw a big
that
shot,
leg again with a
was
very
able to
strong underhook,
be out of the way,
See,
ducked
with
under.
ease,
trying to
right?
push him
Moves so sweet.
over there.
His footwork is very good. Now he's lacing
He
up
might
that leg,
transit.
doing that triangle sort of defense. As he takes the leg, sort of works that
Nice. He
across.
doesn't linger. Okay.
Hard for
Just
Abelardo to get his
step
bearings
back
with
and
this.
just start striking again.
Just sending in a kick. He had a choppy right hand there that he
He's
attempted to
constantly
throw, but
active,
used effortlessly.
constantly on the attack on
Albalado's
every opportunity,
rather sort of
whether
lazy
it's
left hook.
from shooting
Attempted a right there, a little bit
their
more
opponent.
intention, and a
Good chin.
forearm that had a lot more. And Sato certainly ate that.
Sato doesn't quite have a nickname yet, but we might want to coin the El Matador because he is just dodging and diving
Like it.
really well.
Like it. That blood that I was talking about at the end of the first round seems to be coming from Sato's nose. No immediate problem there. Leading with the elbow. You don't see that so much, like a jabbed elbow.
Good takedown there.
Now,
Move
look
forward,
at
using his momentum, good
see what
timing.
Albalado can do
Takedown
to
right
extend
away.
his feet
And
to
he's
try and get
active on
Andrade,
top.
but he's pulling him in closer
A
now.
really good top control.
They exchange
Really
elbows
active.
with Albalado's back to the mat.
He's constantly pressuring, whether it's
There's
he's
command on
on his back,
Albalado's forehead now, Mitch, as well.
he's standing, or he's on top,
And that is a mark that
constantly
could get
pressuring,
into the eye and affect his vision.
constantly moving,
Just coming down the side of his head.
finding
Big
good
punches
strikes.
coming down from
Guess
high.
this is all she wrote.
Albalado's having to cover up and not do much else. Unanswered
Good
blows,
one.
and that's enough for the referee to call it a day.
Here's a good thing. Fabricio Andrade also fought Mark Fairtex Abelardo. So this is a good comparison. I guess we could say this is a very good comparison because they both Sato and Andrade fought Fairtex Abelardo before. So by this we could go move forward and watch in comparison what does Andrade have that could endanger him. All right. Now, now Fabricio Andrade going against Mark Abelardo. This should be good because I think this one is much more recent. So this is a good comparison, and we have to understand that Mark Vertex, Abelardo have a really strong. He's a really strong puncher, really strong fighter. He's able to muscle through most people, and I believe he got some knockout wins on his own. So we'll see how Andrade go against Abelardo. Let's go.
Southpaw stance on Andrade, a very straight up stance. That's interesting. The chin high in the air. No crouching, no tucking of the chin looking through the brow. That is a target, I dare say, Dragon, for Abelardo to go for.
Yeah, Alvarado's got a
Very fast
monstrous
strikes
overhand
from
right, so I expect
Andrade.
him to test the chin of Andrade, but Andrade is a highly skilled striker, so I expect him to understand very well what's going on. Beautiful 1-2
He got
combination landed by Andrade.
he's very fast with his strikes. He's able to time it very well.
Comes in off back-to-back wins in China last year.
He's constantly checking his distance. He got
Abelardo,
good
19 and
range
7
on him.
with 3 submissions, 11 knockouts, a massive 74% finishing rate.
Good defense also. Nice blocks over there. He's been striking, so he knows.
Has lots of
Very good movement by Andrade.
New Zealand and the Philippines. Was born in New Zealand to Filipino parents. Mark Abelardo.
Constantly moving.
As
He's a
Andrade on the
southpaw,
outside here, catches the leg.
by the way.
Looking to take the
I
Brazilian
haven't
down.
mentioned it. He got taken down, but quickly he got up very quickly.
Nice short knee to the
We
big
just
spine.
haven't seen a lot of Andrade's
Right arm of
throughout
Andrade.
his fighting history. We had just haven't seen a lot of his ground game, but from what I've
Yeah, Andrade was able to pop
read,
right
from
back
what
up
I've
off that
heard,
takedown
from
attempt
what I've
from
seen from
Alvaro. Andrade's
his
been working
pages,
hard at Tiger Muay Thai, trying to
he does
transition into mixed
he
martial
does
arts with the
do a
ignorant
lot of
brothers out there,
jiu-jitsu
and he's doing
with
a
bunch
good
of
job
black
so far
belts,
of just kind of understanding the range of Alvaro and keeping up the innocence of these
and
punches.
I'm sure he's been really working
Abelardo's gone 3 and
his
2 in his
wrestling
last
and
5.
jiu-jitsu. He's a very strong young guy, very fast, very
That's where Andrade
also
has to
very
look
well
for.
experienced
The
in
jaw very
standing up
high in the
fighting.
air.
So he definitely is tough. Good knee from him.
Shoots in for a clinch up. Overhooks that left arm. Does
Very
Andrade.
strong takedown defense, and he got both of his underhook.
Certainly a interesting joust. Here
Not
we
as
go.
tricky as Sato,
Abelardo, who
but
has
he's
won 3
very
submissions
strong and
since
he will
2013
go
against
for it.
Andre Paulette. In fact, early in his
He will
career,
push it. I mean, he
Abelardo was
will
known
push
for his subs, not his knockout
your
power. His first 4 pro matches, he
takedown
won
back.
3 by submission,
Very
all
tricky, man.
in the
He's very
second
fluid.
round.
He reminds me of Sergey Adamchuk. If any of you guys follow Glory,
Long legs,
he's kind of like that.
completely
Really
different
fluid
concepts
movement.
between those
Really
two athletes.
just move around.
The
Really
stocky,
snap his
muscular
punches.
build of Abelardo,
Snap his strikes real quick.
lean, beanpole,
It's difficult
but it's
to
not
see
lethargic.
where the
Nice
strike's
jab there
coming
for the
from.
Brazilian.
He have this all his movement is very fluid, a very fluid striker, very very good trained striker. Really just consist consistently just consistently moving, consistently you know giving small reactions to his opponents, keep them guessing, and something like snap him without you know time his strikes really well, choices of strikes, which is really excellent.
Originally from Fortaleza in
With
northeastern
defense,
Brazil.
he's consistently moving out of the way pressure
Against the likes of Thiago
of
Alves,
pressure.
Hermes Franca, and Marcus Aurelio. A little bit of a loop on that lead hand out of southpaw stance there from Andrade, Mitch.
Mm.
Yeah, I like how Alvaro's mixed things
His
up a little
strikes
bit. He's
moving,
got Andrade
his
up
counter
against the
strike
ropes a
moving
couple of
backwards,
times, just kind
really
of testing
strong
inside
too.
that
Can
clinch,
that
giving him a
nice
couple of
hook
good
cross
looks.
from there.
Alvaro likes to strike with
Again,
power. He likes to
he
keep
just
that
dumped the
pressure on,
takedown.
and Andrade looks
Good
really
jab,
calm
nice
and
knee.
relaxed in there.
Really precise, really good
Nice extended
choice
kick there
of
from the
striking.
Brazilian.
He got really good eyes on
Flicks out a punt kick,
his striking choices.
call it a push kick or a front kick.
It's
To that,
it's
you've got to
very
hit with the
good to
ball
see.
on
It's
foot,
very nice
splay the
seeing it.
toes, and push forward.
Classic
A punt
striker
kick is forward
with his
inside
striker
the ring.
background. Really good eyes, really good timing. See
Good
that
left hand.
small feint, pop, feint, pop, feint, and then pop, and feint again. Oh, it's very tricky, man. It's very subtle,
Jab
really
from the
subtle,
southpaw Brazilian.
very tricky.
Abelardo
Nice
with
angle
the legal
changing
hooks
right away.
here.
Pop. hook, that right hook, and
Abelardo,
just
who began
spin,
training karate as a 10-year-old under his
sidestep
dad,
to
who
the
was a
side,
third-degree black belt in
consistently moving while he's
very
striking,
poor
moving while he's
karate
striking.
art.
Really good display.
Here in the Philippines, what do you know about Zikatsu?
Not
Nice
very
snap
much,
down.
but I do know it's kind of a mix of everything. A little bit of grappling, a little bit of striking, a lot of self-defense techniques. But I do like how
Keeping him guessing.
Andrade's keeping that jab out, keeps touching him with
Good hard
things.
strike.
Beautiful,
Good
straight
hard
right
cross.
hand there, landed by Andrade.
High kick from Andrade.
You can tell that kicks bother Mark very much.
Built like a tank, Abelardo.
He really doesn't want to get kicked in his face
Throw with power.
from somebody like Andrade.
Launch the heavy artillery off the right hand, sitting
First round.
jab early. As we go to the towels after one, folks, don't forget to add us across all your social media platforms. At One Championship on Twitter,
See that feint?
Facebook,
Boom!
YouTube, and Instagram.
Brr,
Trey,
brr,
don't forget to
brr.
jump the one
Just
man.
fucking
What are you
shoot.
telling Fabricio Andrade to do?
I like what he's doing right now. I like how he keeps the distance. He just understands that range. He was able to find it almost immediately. He keeps Abelardo at the end of his punches, lands kicks. He's starting to go head hunting.
That nickname you came up with for Mark Fairtex Abelardo, though officially it hasn't stuck. But I know you want to say it.
Constantly moving again.
So what's the nickname you
Constantly moving.
Elbow Lardo.
Mm.
He throws elbows.
Angling his strikes and moving away from with angles as well. Pop, pop, pop. Move to the side. Pop, pop, pop.
put it to the fans?
Pop,
Let us
pop.
know on Twitter
Pop, pop.
at One Championship. Do you like Abelardo or
Mm.
Mitch is right though. If Abelardo gets on the inside,
His jab has been working wonders. He knows how to play
elbow off the right arm.
as the long guy.
Jumping knee.
Nice knee.
Andrade. Nicely done there from the Brazilian striker. The Wonder Boy does have a kickboxing record.
Very good movement. He barely got any damage. A little bit different when with Sato.
Here from Abelardo. They go to canvas. What does
He's really not trying to.
He defended
And he got
beautifully. He jumps on
a
the back.
very
The
quick
jump is
finisher.
under the chin.
Just
This
like
might be
when
a
he was in
round, folks. This
kickboxing.
fight is tight.
Can he find it? The Wonder Boy. Figure four around the body. Abelardo with a whole lot of bother.
And I think this is his last. I think that's his last fight. So obviously, despite whatever his MMA record said, I'm very sure that he is consistently growing. And knowing now he's in Tiger Muay Thai, so he's been around so many very good grapplers as well over on that camp. So yeah, I didn't. It's going to be a good fight. So now let's go to the little bit of review. This one's gonna be a tricky one, because I will have to. Let's see the pros and cons, right? I got a little bit note right here. Shoko Sato. He got a really fluid movement for MMA, meaning his stance are already very well trained, very well educated, very well experienced as well. So we're able to move around much more fluidly. He's able to duck. He's able to shoot. He's constantly. He's also constantly. Uh, he's constantly attacking with either in whichever position he is in. He's always constantly trying to win his clinch. He's constantly trying to outstrike people when in his clinch. He's trying to take people down when he's on his, even when he's on his back. He's active with his guard, trying to strike submissions out of it. And And then through experience, MMA experience itself, he's able to adjust. Usually, when you go against someone who's much more experienced, you will guys who have much more experience on the high level competition able to adjust much better than people who may just have started it. He's been through war. He fought yeah, he fought like 30 sorry pardon 46 times from the 47 times from this from the record, if the record was correct, right? He got a really tough chin, but he does takes a lot of risk. Here's the big factor here. He takes so much risk. When we saw in comparison between Andrade and Sato when he go against that dude, he got a lot more. He got a lot more strikes in. He got more. He got struck more. He got taken down a little bit more. He's he's a he is tough, but he is in more constant danger than Andrade, which can be a problem going against fighters as good as Andrade. He's constantly moving, but his hands are always kind of low. Going against people like Andrade, he's, you know, a very strong kicker, very fast puncher. He's able to blitz. Andrade got really good subtle feints. He's able to feint very well there. He's always feinting, pop, and just like snap his strikes. And it can be a real problem for guys like Sato, who is a little bit who relies a lot on moving left, on shifting right or left to his head. Does it make sense? I hope you know what I'm saying here. Um, and his rushing move. Sato often rushed his movement forward, especially when he starts striking. When he sees his opponent, like he blitz, those karate style blitz, pop, 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 pop. You see that on many tournaments. People just move forward, trying to push, trying to pressure somebody backwards to a corner. Oftentimes in a karate tournament, usually I found this a lot of karateka does this a lot, which they blitz. Lyoto Machida does that a lot. Boom, 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 boom. Who else I got? Even who's the old school guy? Who's the handsome Swedish guy in K1? I forgot. Anyway, they blitz forward, pop, 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 pop. But going against somebody who's as experienced as Andrade, who's been focusing most of his career on kickboxing, it can be a very dangerous position if he's able to spot you on there. Nonetheless, despite his strong chin, sometimes it just takes one hard blitz to take you out there. So yeah, that's that. Hmm. A little bit difficult matchup because only on paper, Shoko Sato should be able to do well. But stylistically, if we put one and one together, it is a tough. It is a tough matchup for Sato going against somebody like Andrade, who's much more fluid in his striking. But Now let's go to Andrade. What? First of all, he's a very creative striker. Here again, I told you before. I told you as the fight goes on, he reminds me a lot of Serya Dumchuk. He's the new school type of kickboxer. Use a lot of feints, good head movement. He's willing to move around. Southpaw. He's a very strong southpaw who utilizes his strong left to really just snap people and just destroy people with it. Very fast kicks, very fast strikes. Very fast kicks, very hard kicks as well. Uh, Constantly keeping people out of his range. Long, tall, lengthy guy. Mm. But I will say this is MMA, and the experience factor does come in when you're going against a very experienced guy. Mm, we have to see how he will be able to go against Sato's pressure. I think Sato is going to try to force this fight to the ground just because, you know, he got much better chances going against Andrade on the ground for sure, because he's a kickboxer and that's where he is very good. And second factor, I will have to say it's on a cage. Wrestling pressure on a cage is much more different than wrestling pressure on the ring. Oftentimes, ring cater to strikers for most of the time, but when people step into the ring, it gets a little bit funky. There's a lot of there's cage on the background. You're able to be pressured on cage. How well is his defense is going? I think he will be tested. Another point that I will point out is his high stance. Is he fluid enough to go against somebody as seasoned as Sato? Will he able to move left, right, move as fluidly going against Mark? Because so far Sato is the biggest test for Andrade to moving forward by far. So with high stance, there's a little bit more probability going against somebody such as Sato, who has a very very tricky ways when he is able to pressure you on cage. We see from the fight how he on the cage is constantly strike. He hooks the legs. He put really strong arm to one side, doing that, on the underhook on one side and just striking on the other, while push his head down while using those hooking his legs. There's a lot of factor goes in those subtle small tricks that it can be very tricky when you haven't been going against somebody like that in a competition before. I'm pretty sure Andrade have a lot of very good training partners, a lot of high level black belts, especially in Tiger Muay Thai, as far as I know. Really good wrestling as well. One of UFC champion is there. Peter Yan is there. So I believe he got a good enough training, but is he mentally ready for that? Because oftentimes Japanese grappler, Japanese fighter got all this little tricky things that you may or you may not see or you may not feel until you're there. Those subtle subtle movement, constant pressure, and all that jazz. Oh, this is going to be a very good fight. This is going to be a very good fight. They're both are very competent in striking. Both, I believe, both of them are very competent on their ground game. And obviously, we start seeing how Andrade on his last fight improve and actually win by submission or just choking his opponent out. But whatever. So, but you get the point. I think that my final predicament, I will pick Andrade just because he's still very fresh, he's still very young, but yet he has a lot of prodigy on his under his belt with his kickboxing, and his previous, I don't see his previous losses as something to worry about, because what I see is how I'm very sure right now he is moving up his ladder, he's moving up his skills, and Sato is a very good match for Andrade, and uh, m- more so because he's a veteran. He have really good grappling, but his striking style fits very perfectly well for Andrade to able to utilize his reach, his fast twitch muscle, his you know, and just overall working on his MMA game to the next level. So I'll pick Andrade, but it's still a toss up, man. This MMA, anything can happen. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my video today. I hope you guys enjoy it, and see you guys later. We shall see how it goes after this. See you next time.